I've had a bit of a mare this morning. I had a route planned. I've been planning it for a week or two, and then I was loading up my phone this morning to get directions to the start point, and I realised the route just takes me on loads of the same walks that I've already made videos on. I just didn't realise. So I'm doing another route, a shorter route, unfortunately. But we will get to see the sea, which should be exciting. That'll be the first time that the sea is featured in a video. And unbelievably, the car park, which is down there, is free. And if you know anything about Bournemouth, Christchurch and Poole Council, you know that's pretty damn rare. I've got myself a latte from a garage, which is nice. I'd obviously rather my money didn't go into the hands of companies like Starbucks, but unfortunately there aren't any independent coffee shops open this morning. It's Sunday and it's about 7 in the morning, so can't expect independent businesses to be up at that time, but garages usually are. So unfortunately, as well, I still could have not, but I'm weak. Walking past, I don't know if you can see through the green thing, but there's tennis courts there. It's probably going to be quite busy, this walk, because it's a very popular spot. I mean, the beach alone is going to be quite busy, I would have thought. I've done it before, so I think I know where I'm going. I've got the trail loaded up on my phone, and I'll post, I think it's called Pen Hill to Branksome Chime Circular, but again, I'll post a screenshot so you can have a look. If you ever wanted to follow in my footsteps, you're more than welcome to. And then I'm going to just try and see what we're going to talk about today. I think it's going to be weight loss, because I guess I'm on week 3 now of my weight loss journey, but more about that shortly. It's been a few weeks since I made a video, so I hope you've had a lovely few weeks. I've actually had a really nice weekend. I've been to a wedding, I've been paddle boarding, I got my 10,000 steps in, which is part of my weight loss plan, which I will talk about very shortly. I've finished my coffee already. I still there's certain alcoholic behaviours that are harmless now, but will just never leave me. And necking my drinks, even soft drinks, even hot drinks, is one of them. That's just what I do. Right, we do have an option here to do the road bit first, but I just can't be bothered. I don't like doing the road bits anyway, and I think at the end it's sort of you feel like you've compensated for it. Because if you do it at the start, I don't know, do I just want to get it over and done with? I reckon we get it over and done with, and then while it's less busy, if the walk takes about an hour, then it's going to be busier on the roads when we come back, and I feel like more of an idiot filming. So let's just get the road bit over with, and then we know it's done and out of the way. And that is how you talk yourself either into or out of something. As you can see, I'm quite an indecisive person. Not only is it a section of road, but it's quite steep as well. But hey ho, once it's done, it's done. And then we can just enjoy it. Again, like a lot of these areas in Bournemouth and Poole, it's very affluent, lots of money. And where you find money, you find poverty, unfortunately. And there is a lot of poverty in Bournemouth as well. Not in this bit, but certainly in the town centre. And I mentioned at the start of the video that I've done a wedding. And you might be thinking, a wedding? Isn't that quite difficult if you're a recovering alcoholic who's also autistic? Well, thank you for noticing it. It's quite difficult, but it's manageable. And if you're the same as me or similar to me, and you've got a wedding coming up, my advice is really just be honest that it's difficult for you. You usually find that most people are really helpful and just want to help. That's been my experience throughout my recovery, and as you know, if you're a regular viewer of the channel, you know that I have panic attacks, and whenever I just tell people and I'm just honest, it gets that bit easier, and people will generally check you're okay and make any reasonable adjustments that are reasonable. And that's, for me, is kind of the first step of learning how to cope in those situations. There's a few others. So when you're done, you're done. Don't stay any later than you have to. Most people, in my experience, are just really chuffed that you've made the effort and you've turned up. Doesn't matter if you only stay an hour, 2 hours. They're going to be just happy to see you and happy that you're pushing through, despite what you might be going through circumstantially or mentally or whatever. You've still made it, and you've come down, and that will mean a lot to a lot of people. I think this is one of the things that I struggled with in early recovery, was that people do care. I thought because I didn't care in my drinking days, that must be the same for everyone. Nobody cares. But I was wrong. I was wrong about many things in my drinking, and that's another thing I was wrong about. People do actually care, and people will try to help. So the fact that you've come down and made an effort's big. And when you're done, you're done. Have a cut-off point, either before you go, tell yourself, right, I'll be going at 7 o'clock, or have a cut-off point when you know you're done mentally, and just say, right, and you can tell people that, look, when I'm done, I'm probably just gonna nip out. I hate saying goodbye, so I kind of just, it's not something I've told people, but people know by now that usually I'm just gonna dip out at some point, and that's okay. The reason I hate saying goodbye is because I hate people looking at me. Hence why I made a YouTube channel, but it's different when I've got control over it for some reason. And another good thing to do is have your exit pre-planned, in the sense of what you're going to say. If you don't feel capable enough to just dip out like I do, because, let's face it, it would be better to say goodbye, and that's just me being honest. Just have what you're going to say planned. And if you're brave enough to be honest and just say, look, I'm starting to struggle a bit now, I'm going to head off, you'll find that generally people are really accepting and tolerant and supportive. So I'd encourage it. So yeah, just to recap, be honest about the fact that you're struggling, or you might find it difficult. Leave when you want to leave, either at a pre-planned time or just when you know you're done. And have your exit pre-planned. I tell you what as well, have an emergency exit planned as well. If you're really not happy, or if it might, if you're in recovery, you feel like, oh, I might be tempted to have a drink here, have an emergency exit plan. Say whatever you've got to say, because nothing is worth jeopardising your recovery for, in my experience, because I have done that twice, and I paid the ultimate price of having a drink. So, yeah, that's my advice. Right, that wasn't so bad. We're coming off-road now, and that will be our road walking done. I'm actually quite glad I got that over and done with. It's not the biggest walk, this, it's about 7 kilometres. I feel like that sign's on the wrong side of the path. It feels like it's pointing into that person's garden. Right, we're in the gardens now, I believe this is called. And this will lead us to the beach. And I was actually down here last night, well, a little bit further along, trying my first hand at paddleboarding. Saoirse and I bought a paddleboard last year, and we bought it at the end of summer, and we never got round to using it. Yesterday, we managed to get it out and use it. Some campanology going on this morning on a Sunday. So weight loss, what have I done? Well, I went into it with 2 principles, really. Keep it simple, which is good for me, and stay accountable. So the staying accountable side, I've recorded my daily journey, bar a couple of days where I've just been busy and I've forgotten to film anything. For the most part, I'm filming myself every day, what I'm eating, what I'm doing, filming when I get my 10,000 steps in. If you want to follow along with me, it's at Shedding the Timber on Instagram. Shedding timber. It's a bit of a Yorkshire phrase. A lot of Yorkshire people will refer to extra weight as timber, as I found out when I was quite drastically overweight for a year when I was on quetiapine in 2018 maybe a bit before that. Hey, that's put on a bit of timber, lad. I know, I can see in the mirror. Thanks for reminding me in front of all these people. Keeping it simple side of things, all I'm doing is I'm in a calorie deficit, which I use an app to work out. I use an app called Chronometer to track my calories, and that worked out a manageable calorie deficit for me. And that deficit allows for a pound weight loss a week. I'm sticking to a regular exercise routine of running 1 day a week, strength training 1 day a week, and hiking 1 day a week, and I'm doing 10,000 steps a day. That's it. That's all I'm doing. I haven't had to change my diet drastically, to be honest, because I think my diet was okay. I was just snacking too often and eating too large of a portion, and I probably wasn't hitting my protein goal. And I don't know if I am yet or not, but I'm just focusing on calories at the moment. Morning. And so far, I've lost 10 pounds. I spoke to my friend Rachel, and she said, are you meeting your calorie goal as in getting to the deficit? And I am. I'm eating thereabouts 2,300 calories daily. But I think the reason for the extra weight loss is probably because I'm doing a little bit more exercise than the app allowed for. The app only had 3 choices for your level of exercise. It was either like none, light or heavy. And I think I'm probably somewhere in between light and heavy. So that's probably meant that I've lost a bit more than I should. And I have been deliberately eating more healthily as well. You know, I haven't really had many sugary treats, just because it's harder to feel full when you're eating really high calorie food. I'd rather feel full. I hate the feeling of being hungry, so I'd rather feel full eating lower calorie food than I would sugary food. So yeah, I've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. I'm pretty chuffed with that, as you would be. I've just thought we could get some extra steps in, a lot of extra steps in, by walking to Bournemouth Pier and back. So I'm going to do that. That might take me up to 10k. It should be nice on a Sunday morning before 9 o'clock. It's going to be a bit tricky to film because it is really busy. As it should be. I mean, look at it. As if I live here. Yeah, let's walk to Bournemouth Pier and back. I guess that makes good content, doesn't it? Now this is a wide angle lens, so you won't be able to see over there, but the Isle of Wight is in the distance. That way is Pool. I don't know why I'm saying this, because you absolutely cannot see it. Over there is what's called Old Harry Rocks. And down there, that's Bournemouth Pier there, which looks a lot closer than it is, I'm sure. It feels like a 2-minute walk, but I'm sure it's not. It's also quite windy down here, so I'm hoping you'll be able to hear me. And if you want to part with a couple of £100, you can have one of these sheds on the beach. And if you think I'm joking, Google it. Now I know that weight loss isn't that simple for a lot of people. I've just been quite blasé about the fact that I'm only using 2 principles: keep it simple, keep myself accountable. I'm in a calorie deficit and I'm exercising. But my starting point is a little bit different to other people's because I've done it before and I've got enough freedom physically and circumstantially to be able to get out and exercise regularly. I know that for some people watching this, it might not be that simple. So don't think for a second that I'm discounting how difficult it can be to start a weight loss journey. And I'm here showing off because I've lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. It's completely subjective to the person, I know it is. But this, all I can share is my own journey. And all I can share is what's worked for me. And this has worked for me in the past and it's working for me this time. I'm not an expert. I rely heavily on advice from friends. I've got friends who are personal trainers who don't mind giving some advice to me. I've got friends who know much more about this kind of thing than I do, who share with me. So yeah, I'm just sharing with you what's worked for me based on the knowledge and experience I've soaked up from others. There's a pigeon there making the most of the free water. Looks like we're going to have to join this temporary bit here because the footpath's closed. If you want to pause it and read it there, that's why the path's closed. Someone remind me what those are called. It's not just called a lift, is it? What are they called? They've got a name. Sure they have. Happy Land. Why would you put Happy Land in the most depressing looking building you could think of? Now I imagine it's going to be too early to get coffee number 2. It's not even 9 o'clock yet. There's Bournemouth Pier. If you want to go on there, and I don't even know what's on it. Maybe went on it a long time ago. I certainly don't remember what's on it. There's a woman carrying a coffee. We might be in luck. Coffee number 2 might be on the way. There's the Bournemouth observation wheel. Funny thing about Bournemouth is it's kind of on a hill. So you can't really see much from the wheel. I'll tell you that. Look, what are you going to see? Now, where did this lady get a coffee from? Looks like there's some sort of event going on today. Cancer research. Yeah, like a cancer research event. Cool. Oh, Rest for Life. Is it Rest for Life today? I don't know if you can see in that stall over there is a Rest for Life stand. Maybe I need to get in and out of here quick before it gets really busy. Let's grab a coffee and run away. Right, we are in business for the coffee, but it is Rest for Life. Starting at 10. And it's currently, I don't know, because I forgot my watch, probably about 8 o'clock-ish. So I am gonna make my way in the opposite direction. There's also a load of copyrighted music playing. I mean, my channel's not monetized, but you never know. One day, maybe. Let's try this coffee then. Just an Americano this time, which I find's a bit lighter. Yeah, it's okay. Average. I'm not a coffee, yeah, I am a coffee snob. A little bit. I just like things that taste really nice. And I'm greedy, so those two things equal snob, I think. And this coffee's just the kind of middle of the road. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna What about the other way now? Probably won't film much because you've seen it all coming this way. I'm going to get back to the trail. But this has probably added a few kilometres at least to the step count today, which is good because I wanted to do an 11k originally until I figured out that I'd already done most of it. And I've already done this one, but it hasn't featured in the video. So my journey with my weight, I was the same weight all my life up until about, well, it was when I went on Dietary. So, how's it going, man? You okay? Yeah, good, man. I was, bless him. I never struggled with my weight. So my journey kind of was, I had always been able to eat what I want, drink what I want, and never worry about my weight. And then when I was in my 20s, mid to late 20s, I went on a medication called quetiapine, and that changed everything. I went from being able to eat anything and drink anything to ballooning up in weight. I put on about 5 or 6 stone in the space of a year. Now, quetiapine changes how your body processes fat and sugar, basically, and it makes you insatiably hungry. So not only is your body processing sugar differently, but you're craving it all the time, weirdly. So I just ballooned in weight, which was just a shock. You know, I'd gone from being slim my whole life and not even putting a second thought into it to being like morbidly obese, for want of a better word. And it was embarrassing. I think when you're a man, particularly if you're a man, other men like to remind you a lot that you've put a load of weight on. Make comments, you know. And I think just because you're a man, it doesn't make it okay. You know, I'd laugh it off, but deep down it was like, why do you think it's okay to just call me fat, basically? So I don't know if there was like a defining moment when I first decided, after putting on all that weight with quetiapine, bearing in mind I was a raging alcoholic at this time as well. So I'd basically gotten used to just having way more calories than I needed in a day. And quetiapine just lowered that threshold of what meant I put weight on, plus age as well. You know, age didn't exactly help. When you get to late 20s, I think your metabolism slows down. And I don't know if there was like a defining moment. It was just a gradual build up to me being like, oh wow, I really have put a hell of a lot of weight on. With all the reminders that I kept getting from other people. There was this one time as well when I was picking my son up from school and I was stood in the playground waiting for him. And this little kid was with his mum, and the kid went, "Mum, look how fat that guy is," and pointed at me. So I was like, yeah, all these things culminated together in me very much coming to the realisation in about 2019, I think, I needed to lose weight. And I think I either spoke about this in my last video or in a previous video, but I basically went hell for leather and ate as little as I could to lose weight initially, and exercised as much as I could. And it was successful. I lost a hell of a lot of weight very, very quickly, but it wasn't a healthy way to do it. And I was in such a calorie deficit that I even went to A&E at one point because I just felt like I was going to faint constantly. And I probably was on the verge of fainting with the the little I was eating and the amount of exercise I was doing, it's a wonder I didn't faint, or worse. But I lost a load of weight. I lost 5 stone. And I kept it off for the most part. It gradually then kind of crept back up, but very slowly crept back up. I even went back on quetiapine and didn't balloon back up in weight. I was on a lower dose, but obviously I was aware of what happened the first time. And I made sure that I've kind of been exercising fairly consistently now since my first try at weight loss. But gradually, after that first loss of 5 stone, I got down to 15 stone. I've gradually put 2 stone back on over in the preceding years, over about 5 years or something. And that's led me to where I am today. And I was 17 stone, 8 pounds when I started 2 weeks ago. And I am now 16 stone, 12 pounds, I think. If you go to @sheddingthetimber on Instagram, you'll be able to see exactly what I'm doing. A weekly weigh-in on there on a Saturday, although I did it on Friday this week because of the wedding that I went to on the Friday night. Didn't want to weigh in after that. But if you want to check it out, check it out. So that's where I was parked last night, funnily enough, and we were paddleboarding in there. But the waves were they were hard to navigate for a beginner, put it that way. I think I could have done with some paddleboard lessons yesterday. As you can see, it's not even 9 o'clock and the car park's full. It really is difficult to come down to the beach if you're a local on a Saturday and a Sunday in good weather, if you don't come stupidly early. But Saoirse and I like to come in the evening. I think it's much nicer. We came down at 5 last night. The car park, there's tons of space, but we do come to a less well-known part. These leaves. Awesome. If anyone knows what they are, say in the comments. So what do I eat in a day to stay on track? Well, 2,300 calories is a lot, I've found, if you're eating healthily. It's not a struggle to only have that much. One thing, I'll tell you what's helped me a lot, is cutting out a big dinner, because I don't need it. I tend to have a big lunch, because I like to have, much to the displeasure of everyone in the office, tinned mackerel and like a packet of rice or something. So I'm having like 400, 500 calories for my lunch. And that fills me up, and that's fuel for the gym if I go to the gym after work. And I just don't feel the need to have a big full cooked dinner when I come in. I'm quite happy with like a protein shake, although what I have been having is a mushroom omelette. Decent amount of protein, decent amount of fat, and a decent amount of calories. Morning. Morning. So a typical day for me, food-wise, is I'll have a protein yogurt and some fruit for my breakfast. I will have a tin of mackerel. I know that some people will be grossed out by that, but I like it. So there's a good amount of protein in there, and I found this new brand called Alvo that Tesco have, and the whole fillet in there is like 121 calories, and it's mainly protein with a bit of some good fats and oils from the fish, omega-3. And I'll have that. I've been having that with lentils, which has been really, really enjoyable. And then for my dinner, I tend to have been having a mushroom spinach omelette with a load of salad. And then in the evening, the evening's is my weak point. That's when, and if I wake up in the night as well, that's when I crave my sugary treats. So I've been trying to have a measured bowl of protein granola. Over the past like 5-6 years, I keep getting these episodes of like what feels like really low blood sugar. But every time I've been to the doctors to have a diabetes test, because I'm convinced I'm diabetic, it's been fine. So I don't know what it is. But I've found that if I have a high protein diet, I don't get that. I haven't had that feeling of like sudden low blood sugar. And I think it's fairly well documented. I think that if you hit your protein goal, which I think is, don't quote me on this, but I think it's 1.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, possibly. So I should be having I'm like 108 kilos. So I'm supposed to be having like 200 grams of protein. I'm not having that. But I'm having, 150 probably a day. And my blood sugar's been great. I haven't had any issues with it. So in the evening, I'm having protein granola. And then if I wake up in the night, I'm trying to just have a banana and a protein yogurt. And if I do wake up in the night, because quetiapine, I used to take it in the evening, it used to make me so hungry at night, and I would just eat and eat and eat until I fell back to sleep. And I think I've still got that as a habit in my head. So I wake up in the night and I'm like, I do feel really hungry. So I have a banana and a protein yogurt, and what I do is I add that onto my next day's calories to make sure that I'm not going over, if that makes sense. So my ideal weight is, I'm not going on BMI, because BMI is, not the most reliable source. It's not complete rubbish, but there's so many factors it doesn't take into account. This is a bit sketchy. Didn't expect this morning. It was really hot and dry yesterday, but I guess the sun doesn't quite make it through to this bit. I want to be somewhere in the 15 stone range. I remember being there before, it was comfortable, my body felt good. I had the most energy, I think. That's what I'm aiming for. I'm in the 16 stone range now, but I know that I'll probably plateau there somewhere. So what I'm doing currently may work for me now, but I may level off, and I may start seeing weeks where I haven't lost any weight. And I'll have to dig a bit deeper. I might have to take another 200 calories off the deficit. But we'll see, I'll address that when I come to it. But if I'm anywhere in the 15 stone range, I'll be happy. Another thing I've noticed as well, now I'm in a calorie deficit and I'm eating a good amount of protein, is that I'm sleeping better. I'm sleeping really well. I'm having really deep sleep too, and I'm really tired in the evening.
Yeah.
Morning.
Morning.
Hello. So I believe this walk has ticked all the boxes. Friendly people, friendly dogs, nice scenery. Some campanology, should we add that in? Some bell ringing. I think we'd struggle with that on some walks, but I find it a bit funny when it's only just the one bell. Like, put a couple in there, do a melody. The old monotone church bells. Just sounds a bit somber, doesn't it? I may have gone the wrong way. I don't recognise where I am. Wouldn't be the first time. I don't think I have. But we are coming towards the end. And it's not going to be quite 10k by the look of it, but 9.5 probably. Which is pretty good. I've added 2.5 kilometres to the route. Yeah, BMI would have me at about 13 stone, I think, and that would just be, I would look ridiculous. I'm broad and stocky, and big boned, as my mum used to like to say. 13 stone would just be ridiculous for me. Morning. So we're back to that part where I made the decision about doing the road bit first, which I'm really happy with, actually. And just to reiterate, I'm not an expert on weight loss. I've done it successfully once in a very unhealthy way. So you can sort of take the word successfully with a pinch of salt. And this time, I believe I am doing it successfully, but I can only share what's worked for me. And I know that it's not the same for everyone. Everyone has a different starting point, mentally, physically, emotionally. Everyone starts weight loss at a different point. So what works for me might not necessarily work for someone else. And I understand that. It might be much more difficult for someone else to get on that weight loss journey. And I don't mean to take anything away from that at all. I can only share what's worked for me. At the end of the walk, hope you enjoyed it. It's been a nice one. Coffee, friendly dogs, friendly people, church bells. What's not to love? My next video is going to be a challenge video. Yes, I'm going to try a challenge. I'm not going to say what it is. What I'd love it to be is a 100 subscriber special challenge. Now I'm only on 72, so I think it's unlikely. And I'll probably just call it the number of subscribers I have challenge. But if I could get to 100 before then, I'd be absolutely thrilled. So if you're watching this and you're not subscribed and you like the videos, please consider it. You don't have to, but it helps me out a lot. And join me in the next one for my first challenge. It should be a fun one. I'm going to need a few bits. First of all, an SD card for the camera and a spare mic. So it's going to be a long one. I'll just tell you that. All right, cheers. Bye-bye.